Hey everyone, just to let you know that we did have a audio issue with this episode. For some reason the computer didn't want to record the microphones, but luckily the camera picked up the audio. I've done the very best I can with it to make it all as crystal clear as possible, but it is going to sound like shit comparatively. So big sorry about that, and hope you enjoy the episode anyway.
This is for the players.
I'm Ryan Benson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And this is For the Players, the PopCulturists PlayStation podcast of the 40 years of playing PlayStation and 6 plus years in that games media combined with, we throw a hat into the ring and join that PlayStation conversation.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and 8 a.m. on iTunes and the other podcast services. If you'd like to be part of that conversation, please join us on Facebook, join us on Discord, comment below. If you're feeling generous, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/PopCulturists. Head over there, check out the tiers. There might be something there that interests you.
If you want to show your love of PopCulturists on your body, head to popculturists.com/shop, where you can buy shirts, and other sort of crap.
Pseudo hats.
With pseudo hats. With our stuff on it. And of course, we are also Twitch affiliated, twitch.tv/PopCulturists. Come over there, be a subscriber, be a follower, whatever you do over there. We're still pretty new at it. And of course, this coming Saturday, the 2nd of June, we are doing our 1,000 subscriber 12-hour stream. 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. playing games.
Good lord.
I'm already tired. But along with us just celebrating how cool we are and jerking our own wangs, we're also raising some money for a local Geelong organisation called Gen U and their applied video gaming program, where they're using the power of video games to help those with mental health issues as well as disabilities, sort of just giving them a bit of a better time.
Let's see the news outlets comment on that. Wait, video games doing something good for people?
So yeah, we're trying to raise some money from that. The link will be in the description. Josh, I'll give you the link in the description.
Yeah.
So if you want to preemptively donate, let us know. And if you do, tell us. We'll make sure you get your shout out. Make sure you get your recognition. I have
an air horn at home for every time I get a...
Yeah, I'm happy with
It's
that.
one of those ones that you punch the bottom of it though.
Okay.
Slam it on the desk.
Yeah, I'm down.
Actually, this might break this desk.
Yeah. Okay, and we also do have a bunch of giveaways. We've got a big old box down there, right there. We've got some goodies from some PlayStation goodies we picked up. We are giving away a copy of Detroit Become Human on the live episode of For the Players. Thanks to our very lovely friends with Cat and the Turn Left Distribution. We have a ton of games to give away there. Even Xbox are coming to the table. They've got some codes for us as well. Nintendo are in it. And
what?
my brain snapped for a second. So I'm like, what was after Nintendo? And Ethan from Technology and Gaming will be making 2 controllers.
2 now.
Yep, because I gave him the list of rather than me going, I like this. The concern is because the giveaway was within our community group, right? So they're all our friends. I was like, well, I don't want to see me getting like any nepotism or anything in there. So I'm like, okay, here's the list of the designs they want, Ethan. Which one are the most fun for you to make? He's like, the Dead Rising one, because that's lots of blood and gore. And Assassin's Creed one sounds interesting. I'm like, done.
Did you just give away the winners?
No, they know. It's on Facebook.
Huh?
It's on Facebook, they know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he needs to be able to prepare for this week to get them ready.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, so we had to announce it early. So congratulations to Lee Stevenson and Sam Vanderley for Dead Rising and Assassin's Creed respectively.
Wicked.
Yeah. So he's going to be building them, whether it's here, I don't know, but he'll be doing it at the time of the stream. So he'll come in the morning, go, hey, here we go, here's the blank controls, and by the end of the stream, he'll have 2 designs.
Good plan.
And my son is knocking at the door.
Yep. Have to wait about another hour, mate.
Sorry, dude. Be out soon. Hey, Ben.
Yeah. I had a migraine yesterday afternoon, and I'm still kind of feeling the effects.
Yeah, I'm just being an old man.
Took me out hardcore. Had a Panadeine Fort.
How good is Panadeine
Yeah,
Fort?
it's good. While it lasted.
Yeah.
But it's like a band-aid on the pain, and then it wears off, and the pain's like, hey, I'm still doing my thing.
I'm my son.
Not in pain. It just fucked me around.
Migraine's the worst, man.
I've got like little bags under my eyes at the moment and stuff. That's alright. I'm good. Yeah.
You feeling alright?
Yeah, my computer died as well. So, it's just been a swell
week. Where are you playing though? Not much because of your migraine?
Everything died.
Yeah?
A bit of WoW on my laptop. A bit of Dragon's Crown Pro.
So still enjoying the Dragon Crown Pro?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah?
Not much to update since last week.
But it's more of the same?
More of the same, but that's what I like.
Very nice.
I'm a purveyor of loot-based games. I enjoy the grind. So
Very short.
I've just been doing the grind.
Nice.
Pre-bought the WoW expansion. I think I said that.
Yeah, you say drunkenly you didn't. No,
I drunkenly resubbed a few weeks ago. And then I bought the WoW. I pre-bought it, get some pre-order bonuses and shit.
Very schmick.
Yeah, that's it. It's just been an average week, like all the way through. Windows fucked my computer up, had to buy a new hard drive, did buy an SSD for the first time, so it's gonna be fun to try out when that arrives.
Good times.
Yeah. I'm hesitant to put Windows 10 back on. I like 7. 7 was great. 7 was the best OS Windows ever had. And 10's just like the redheaded stepchild of operating systems.
Yeah.
Might go to Linux.
Fuck it.
Just fuck it. I'm going off the grid.
Burn it down. Burn it all down.
Just let me play WoW and use the Adobe programs and leave me the fuck alone. I mean,
I'm in the same week, man. I've been pretty quiet, pretty average. Mostly preparing for Saturday, so I've not really had a lot of time to sit down and stream.
by preparing, he means cleaning his house.
I've been cleaning my house and just making a bunch of like assets and shit to make the stream somewhat more visually impressive. They're gonna look exactly the same. I went to Pop Culture, the warehouse, the big store that goes to all conventions. Their warehouse based in Geelong. So they had their warehouse sale. Went to that yesterday. Spent some money on some slightly busted figures. They're like, oh well, we can't resell it because it's slightly damaged or slightly soiled. I'm like, okay. Yeah. So picked up that solid snake right behind you, as you can see here. And the downside, hands busted. That's a Play Arts Kai figure. That's worth like $180. Paid 40.
Yeah, but you just need to chill out because it's getting real busy.
It is getting busy again.
And it was so nice when it was just schmick.
But not much has really changed. The only thing that's really changed is one Kratos went out and one Kratos went in.
No, the figure, the PlayStation lights.
That's it. Everything else is the same as it was.
Yeah, but that's what everyone sees. It's sharp.
Yeah, we can get...
It's at its limit. I think it's...
Yeah, and there's a nice Witcher statue in there as well, which I was going to hold off as maybe a prize for you. I haven't decided yet. But it's right there if it spoils.
I'm actually thinking about like boxing up all my shit.
That makes sense.
Why? It just sits there, and it's all these shelves that I could be using for something useful.
Like what?
Adult stuff, paperwork, and
bookkeeping and receipts.
Yeah. Because it gets to tax time, and I'm like, well, fuck.
If only I had this shelf.
When I first moved out of home, I bought one of those folders that have like all the tabs in them.
Oh, I had one for all
my bills,
all the PopC receipts.
That. But now it's just a pile this big in my closet. I'll pay another bill, just chuck it in the pile. Yeah, so I had the same thing. I bought a box to be able to separate all the different payments and receipts and stuff for PopC shit. So for any reason, I have all that record. It's all either sitting in an email or a pile on top of that box. Yeah. But in terms of games, yeah, as far as I can recall, I think I've pretty much just played Detroit this week. Which we'll be talking about later. Which we did. Got the credits. My 11th credits of the year. Well done. Very nice. Plat seems relatively achievable. I did it. Oh no, God of War. I'm about 80, 60, I think about 70% of trophies at this point. I've done all the other realms. I'm just tidying up Midgard now. So I'll go in there, do the last couple Brock and Nidri. Sindri. Brock and Sindri quest. We'll find another couple of dragons, where the fuck they are, and then crows, and then I'm done. Boss Valkyrie? Oh, yeah, I'm at the boss Valkyrie right now. It beats the fuck out of me. Oh, okay. How long did that take you to get through the boss Valkyrie? One shot. Get out, really? Yeah, really. Well, like last week you said the Valkyrie at top of Miflheim was going to be shit. Yeah. I'm like, alright, fine. Yeah, the fire one literally in one go. That's the one that gave me the most trouble, but then I one-shot the boss, so...
Do you want to do it?
Yes, just want to do it for me, please.
Like it's really getting in the way.
No, you need that pride in the company.
Yeah, I do. But even if we might give it a burn, might be like, no, do this, do that. Just give me some pointers on it.
Why don't you try to line it up so you can get the plat on the stream?
Oh. Yeah, give me a couple.
Just an idea.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of like that idea.
I know you've already got it planned out by the fucking hour.
Yeah. We have to. It's going to be organised. But anyway, that's pretty much the only things I've played. So Detroit we'll get into in a minute. And no, my week's been pretty fucking poo.
Cool.
Other than that. So let's move into the news. We tell you about PlayStation news that happened this week in a section we call Inform the Players.
6 bits of news this week. Number 1, Sony boss John Codera has revealed that God of War sold over 5 million copies in its first month. The news comes from Sony's Investor Relations Day 2018, in which Codera announced the number of copies sold exceeded 5 million in the month following launch. God of War has performed very well for Sony, selling 3.1 million copies worldwide in its first 3 days, becoming the fastest selling PS4 exclusive for the company. The title was also the best-selling game for April 2018, alongside the PS4, which was the best-selling console for the month, with sales at an all-time April high for any console since NPD began tracking game software in 1995. Not surprising.
No. Like, what's really...
I didn't think about, like, obviously I figured God of War would have sold a lot, but yeah, of course it drove console sales up as well. Like, of course it did. It's a console... It's a console...
It's a system seller.
Yeah.
Like, what's great about it is, I think... I could be totally wrong here, but I'm pretty sure that, like, Uncharted's lifetime sales is like 7.
Maybe. I don't know. Do you want to find out?
Yeah, we'll find out. So, like, that's pretty impressive. In a month, God of War has done what Uncharted 4 did in the entire time.
Excuse me while I Google.
Yeah, Uncharted 4.
41 million.
That's total.
You fucking idiot. You might have been thinking of a single title.
No, I'm thinking Uncharted 4. I said Uncharted, I said Uncharted 4.
I thought you meant Uncharted...
No, Uncharted 4.
He's flat. 8.7 in 2016.
Okay, I was kind of close.
God of War will surpass that by the end of the year.
Yeah, without doubt.
But that's, of course, a sequel, whereas God of War's kind of like a soft reboot, in a way.
But also still very, very much a sequel.
Yeah, no. But I mean, it's a good jumping in point for people, whereas Uncharted 4, you look at it with the direct number 4 at the end of it and you think, well, I need to play number 3. Which you kind of do to get the full content.
And for the full punch of God of War, you do need to play the others as well.
I don't know.
I think I got way more out of it by having a history.
The thing with God of War, though, is that even if you haven't played the titles, you kind of already know a lot of the history as well. So that's
the benefit of like 20 years or whatever.
The biggest moment in the new God of War, I don't, like, even if you didn't play the past games, I think you'd still, because I still got, like, I fucking cried and all that stuff, because I knew the importance of it, even though I didn't play the other titles anyway. So, yeah.
Damn good.
Congrats. Well done.
Damn good.
About time. Because I think Switch has just been killing it since it came out.
And
almost every single month.
Well, Switch is slowing down, man.
There's not a lot coming out.
They've not had a lot recently. I know it's a PlayStation show, but like the only thing they've got working on next is what Mario Tennis Aces.
Yeah, but later in the year we're getting Smash Brothers. And I guarantee you at E3 there'll be something Pokemon. So.
Well, yeah, that's the. I want to do a video on that. So I want to talk about the Pokemon rumors, but I think we might just wait until E3 next week.
I thought E3 was our live FTP this weekend.
Yeah, it is.
Or which is next week.
Yeah, so next week. Yeah, so
we'll do a deep dive then.
Yeah, we're doing FTP E3 predictions next week. So be sure to get your predictions ready because we'll probably use those to give away shit. And then straight after we're recording our E3 predictions for every other.
Recording? What do you mean streaming?
Yeah, what I say. It'll be recorded and streamed, so it'll be recorded and then it will go up on Monday as a separate video as always. So that way if you weren't able to watch live, you're still going to get it. Cool.
Number 2, H1Z1 has made its console debut with the PS4 open beta, drawing in over 1.5 million players since Tuesday. This is Saturday, so about 4 days. Developer Daybreak shared the milestone on the official H1Z1 Twitter account, adding that it's continuing to work to resolve login and purchase issues, and they're committed to bringing the full Battle Royale experience. Daybreak also tweeted that H1Z1 has already seen over 200,000 concurrent players on PS4. H1Z1 left Steam Early Access back in February and went free to play in March. The PS4 beta was announced in April and went live on May 22nd. The title has been through a few iterations since 2015 Steam launch. It began as a hardcore zombie survival game inspired by an Arma 2 mod. Daisy, a battle royale mode, King of the Kill, was added a few months later and was so well received it was released as a standalone early access title. So we've got our PUBG-ish Battle Royale.
Literally, no, because PUBG is a mod for H1Z1.
Yeah, and from what I've seen online, though, they have stripped a lot away out of this beta release for H1Z1.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like the survival aspect is gone because in H1Z1, food, like it's Battle Royale.
That's what DayZ was, yeah.
Yeah, but Battle Royale with, you need to get resources and eat food and all that kind of stuff. Well, I think that's been taken out. So it is very much just get dropped in, find your shit and kill people.
Yeah, it's PUBG for PS4.
Yeah.
Which apparently it's really buggy and really shitty. I downloaded it because it was free for funsies, and I'll probably give it a go this week. But
yeah, download it and give it a go. I mean, because I didn't put this in the news because I didn't really care. But Battlefield 5 was announced, and they're like every bit of Battle Royale as well.
yeah,
I mean,
well, they managed to sort of set in World War II as well, which will be interesting.
I think I'm done with Battle Royales until COD or Battlefield.
Yeah.
Because I don't see a point in jumping into like H1Z1 now when I can pretty much guarantee Activision or DICE will give a better all-over experience.
Yeah, they were like whatever. Battlefield or Call of Duty, like they will both trounce whatever's current now right now.
Yeah, but if you need a fix on the PS4 and your 6 Fortnite, H1Z1 is free at the moment, so give it a go. I just realised that 3 of these news stories start with stuff John Codera has said. He said a lot this week.
John Codera, like maybe I've stopped talking for a little bit. I think.
No, I like it because it gives us shit to talk about. When I'm browsing the news, I'm like, no, like it's loosely PlayStation related, I suppose. But this is like, no, the boss is just spinning shit. Won't
stop talking.
New PlayStation boss John Codera has said that he wants the company to continue thinking about portable gaming. Speaking to Bloomberg, Codera said it was, quote, not yet the right stage to discuss specific hardware plans, but the company was carrying out experiments in the area. Quote, in my opinion, rather than separating portable gaming from console, it's necessary to continue thinking of it as one method to deliver more gaming experiences and exploring what our customers want from portable. We want to think about many options. He's basically saying the Switch got it right, and we want to do that too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not clear whether he means a new handheld gaming option or focusing on smartphones and the likes of PlayLink games, which connect portable devices to PS4. So from that comment, like where he says, rather than separated portable gaming from consoles,
as in
obviously
they're not going to be doing a Switch hybrid or anything like that. As in like a PlayStation version of the Switch with the console.
No, so
hybrid.
it's just good to know it's still in their mind. But after the way the Vita was treated, I'd be pretty hesitant in buying anything new. Should it be a new piece of hardware? It wouldn't be a day one buy. I'm going to give it like a year just to see where it's at.
Well, they have said for this E3 that there is no hardware announcements at all, period. And I always go back to something that the old Colin Moriarty said, that PlayStation are crazy enough to do it again.
Oh yeah, they definitely are, but are the fan base crazy enough to buy into it again?
Yeah, so the biggest...
The Vita had so much behind it, and then so much disappointment that...
But that disappointment came from first parties not willing to work with it, and understandably, of course.
Yeah, no, totally. But it's... I think it came from same as with the PSVR, why make a title where the install base is 2 or 3 million when we can make a title where we've got 75 million plus install base. So I think him saying, branching the in-between, which I think is hinting that Switch is doing... the way the Switch does it is fantastic. We need to figure out...
Well, because the big reason that Switch works as a portable device now is originally they had the console, which was the Switch, and they had the 3DS. 3DS is slowly phasing out, and they're getting the last of the games out. And then they're going to merge into one thing. So that way there's no differentiation between this studio does portable, this studio does console. Everything's doing the one thing. Yeah, and PlayStation will never do that. They can't do that. Because if they shift all studios into this new portable device, it'll die. Because one, it can't support what we're doing. It would be an atrocious step back.
You don't think we can play Death Stranding on a Vita?
No. Or whatever.
You can remote play God of War on it.
Yeah.
Which is fucking insane.
But yeah, it's all. There's a lot to go with that. Yeah.
They're in a weird spot.
So there's a reason the Switch works, and it's not because it's portable. It's because the entire Nintendo system is behind it. As in every studio, every first thing, second, third, whatever, everyone's in on it. And that's how it works. There's no division of production.
So I don't know what they're going to do. Be interesting to see. Maybe next year they'll have something they want to talk about. Continuing with John Codera, the PlayStation 4 is entering the final phase of its life cycle. Codera told analysts and investors the console is entering the final phase of its life cycle, which was reported by the Wall Street Journal's Takashi Mochizuki on Twitter. The news was in the context of console revenue, which Codera said would be negatively affected by decrease in unit sales, but that recurring revenue from membership services such as PS Plus would help cushion the impact. He went on to suggest that March 2021 will be the time when the company will be looking beyond the PS4 console into the future. Bullshit, they're looking at it now. As if they're not R&Ding the next PS4
It takes like 4 or 5 years to R&D something. So.
Yeah, but he said they would be looking beyond. They wouldn't be looking beyond it till March 2021. Fuck off. They're already doing it. Codera also touched on the topic of first-party titles, saying that the renewed focus wouldn't mean more new IPs, but refreshing existing IPs and franchising the successful ones. He also told investors that there are more exclusive titles for Sony's console on the way, and that, quote, PSVR is growing, but the industry's growth is below market expectations.
So I got a couple of things there. The PS4 running down its when you have 80 million consoles in the wild, like it's not
to run out of people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it's an issue of, well, we're starting to give up on the console. It's like, well, heads up, expect we're not going to be having more sales every month now, because pretty much everyone has one. There is no way for us to keep sustaining this growth.
They'll obviously get a burst with every big first party release. So God of War,
Spider-Man will get a huge bump.
Spider-Man will do it. Death Stranding will do it. The Last of Us 2 might do it. People that played on the PS3, the first one, and didn't buy into a PS4, The Last of Us 2 might be the one. So you'll obviously see a spike every time a big first-party title comes out, but yeah, they're not going to be smashing the monthly charts, over everyone else now. And
I think that's what he's trying to get at. I think it's less of, well, we're looking into the future. It's more of, everyone hold your shit, all right? Yeah. We've done all right. Yeah. Do I think there's of course there's a new PlayStation on the way. I think they have to be R&Ding it now. I heard there's a rumor mill that they're looking at using the Ryzen CPUs, which means nothing to you, but it's the one that runs my PC. They are fantastic pieces of hardware. So in terms of what they'll be able to get out in terms of processing power, because we talked about this in the past, like for some reason if you look at the PS4 Pro, if you look at the Xbox One X, they're more pushing the GPU, the graphical power of these consoles, where the CPU is getting a very minor upgrade. Having a Ryzen in there will give it a drastic improvement. Like we're bringing in multi-cores, multi-threads. I know it means like nothing, but in terms of
even Dad's saying I should buy an SSD for my computer, I'm like, what's that?
Yeah. What the Ryzen is capable of is just beyond what these consoles can do. So, I could be totally wrong here. My understanding of what they're using so far is slight variants of like mobile. They're not like proper full PC CPUs, but the Ryzen's a full-blown computer.
But I still don't think we've seen everything people can get out of the PC.
No, I'm just saying, like, but what in the move future, right? Like
in the what?
In the what?
You said in the move future.
Oh, sorry, moving into the. I was asleep when Josh rocked up here.
Yeah.
I'm still all frazzled. Moving into the future. If this is the case, this is the direction I want to see it go. Graphic fidelity is rad, but why? Like graphics aren't that good if you can't.
Why are we still uploading super?
Yeah, like if you don't have the raw grunt to run everything else, it can look fantastic, and it's still not going to be because as we're building bigger and more expansive worlds, you need that processing power, and if that's the right direction they're going, fantastic. In terms of VR, apparently VR across the board is not doing anywhere near what everyone's expecting.
Who'd have thought?
I'm a little bummed.
That a $400 to $1,500 piece of extra hardware wouldn't sell to the masses like hotcakes. Wow!
Well, if you ask your dad, he's pretty.
Dad's keeping that market afloat, mate. I don't know what else to say. I mean, if you want to get into the VR on the PC, then you need a pretty fucking good PC to be able to run it at its max, which makes that $800 Vive headset cost you $2,500 when you buy a $1,500 computer to go along with it. PS4, there's just not enough big titles to me who will go, fuck yeah, I want to play that in VR. There's just not enough there. It's jumping the way of the Vita. I said it from the start.
Yeah, which is a big problem. Like, outside of Resident Evil, which was literally a year ago, since then they've had, like, The Inpatient and Bravo Team, and, like, but there's been...
Nothing to shit on. I'm not trying to shit on the indie titles that are on there, but they're not the ones that are going to sell the PS4.
Yeah.
They're supplementary to what else should be there. And like we were saying before, with like if they do a new portable thing, they can't tell a studio just to develop for VR, because the last time they did that, the studio got fucking shut down. So
yeah, go to Cambridge.
Yep.
Yeah. So look, yeah. I still think PS5 is a while away, but I like where it's going from these alleged leaks, this alleged information that's coming out.
Yeah, VR's just a flash in the pan.
And VR, I still think could be cool.
It's going the way of 3D TVs.
But I am concerned that...
Yeah, everyone's going to want one. Oh, wait, they don't. No, but, you know, for the people that bought in, they should be getting their money's worth, and I don't feel like they are at the moment. Not that I don't even have one, but I'd imagine you feel that way. You don't have enough... You don't have enough time to be like, I'm going to get it, and I can't wait to get home and play it on VR, you know?
Yeah, but there are some times when like a cool VR game does drop, I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not enough to make someone want to go spend $400 on one either, though.
Do I think I've got my money out of it in the 2.5 years I've had it? No.
Oh, really? I thought you would have said yes, like you're content at this point.
Oh, I'm totally content, but when I look back, I'm like... See, the big difference is, we're very lucky. I've bought like 4 games in that 2.5 years. Played a lot of games, but I really paid for 4. Yeah. I've reviewed a lot of games. Yeah. And that's the advantage. Like, if I had to shine out money for games as well, I'd be like, this sucks. But right now, I'm like, nah, it's cool.
Oh, the poor plebs that have to pay for their games.
Sorry.
Number 5, and perhaps the biggest news story of the week, We Happy Few has been denied classification in Australia, although the reason behind the decision has not been specified.
Yeah, it has.
The game was refused classification this week based on Australia's National Classification Code, which states video games... Really?
Yeah.
This is a new article that said it hasn't been... Which states that video games that, quote, depict, express or otherwise deal with matters of sex, drug misuse or addiction, crime, cruelty, violence or revolting or abhorrent phenomena in such a way that they offend against the standards of morality decently and proprietary generally accepted by reasonable adults to the extent they should not be classified. They really need to work on their grammar and put a couple full stops in there. We Happy Few was announced at E3 2016, depicts Orwellian-esque future where the citizens take joy pills to detract from the horrors of their reality. The game doesn't shy away from violence either, but due to the vague nature of the reason given for refusal of classification, it's difficult to ascertain which particular in-game events were found to be so offensive as to reach the standards of morality and decency.
I'm trying to find the correct rundown.
I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it's because the pills are called joy.
Yes. So the biggest issue is that the biggest issue is that the pills like you are. The game, since day one, the classification board has very strict rules, as we mentioned, on sexual violence, drug misuse, and that sort of thing, right? So, with the whole idea of the joy pills is you actually receive positive attributes by taking the pill. So, therefore, you are receiving rewards and incentives to take drugs, which
I get it. Doesn't mean I agree with it.
No, but as once again, this is that thing. Since day one, that has been a very...
We're updating our privacy policy.
Oh, I've got another one.
Sick of these emails from everyone. Sorry, yeah. Yeah, no, look, I get it. And we've had this discussion before with the Outlast, when Outlast 2 was denied classification as well.
So that was on sexual violence. That was a very different reason. But, once again... See, everyone's coming all about, well, if we have an R18 rating, well, you know, like... Why is shit still getting banned? Because there still has to be a line in the sand. It doesn't make it instantly a big open thing. Like that doesn't exist. That's not the that's not the system.
Just to me, I can get it with all the sexual stuff and all that, but to me personally, the drug use, I'm like, come on.
But then again, like I said, I agree with it. In terms of, because that's what they've clearly outlined this since day one. That's why I don't argue it. I'm like,
but just because it's outlined that way doesn't mean it should be outlined.
No, but as the thing, everyone's up in their arms if this is a brand new thing. Like, no. This has been the better part of like 5 years. This shit's been written down. Plus, things like 7 years. You know what I mean? So like, it's no shock and awe. Really, I'm surprised that no one picked this up sooner. This is going to be a problem.
Yeah, no,
Really?
I agree with
But-
I totally agree with what you're saying.
But we have an entire subgenre of movies, stoner comedies, that glorify drug use.
Yeah. Yeah, now I totally get what you're saying, that it's written that way, so that's how it is, but then you need to start questioning those things. Well, okay, it's written that way, that's how it is now. Should it be that way in the future? How can it be amended so that it's not so strict on certain things that it probably shouldn't be this strict on? But because the thing is, like, because it's related to joy, it being called joy or whatever, because I think Bioshock have something similar, because you're injecting the plasma.
Their plasma's different. It's not drugs, it's a science. It's
so the thing is,
slicing.
for them to change that is such a core part of the game. Like, voice lines are going to have to be altered, you know, if they want to rename it something.
We've got to remember, Fallout 3, when it was originally released here, this is before we had an R18 rating, of course, their drugs were called, like heroin and cocaine and all this shit. And then they had to change it to, like, you know, Med-X and
Yeah,
whatever.
but the thing is, in Fallout, there wasn't a lot of, I think, spoken dialogue with, you know, those words in them.
But the problem is, you use them and you would get benefits.
I mean, no, that's not what I'm getting at. I'm getting at, they just, okay, we'll go in the files and rename them to something else.
Yeah.
Cool. Whereas we Happy Few, like, with all the spoken dialogue and everything, where they'll be referencing joy and all that, that's a big thing.
I don't think the issue is the fact the drug is called joy. I think the issue is, as it outlines, it's the positive reinforcement of taking that pill. Not in its name, it's in the actions. As I said,
the actions are the same in Bioshock.
But once again, they're not. This is where we get the semantics. They're not drugs. That's genetic altering.
You're injecting yourself.
It's genetic altering.
Yeah,
it's not
fucked.
drugs.
It's fucked. I don't agree with it. It's fucking dumb. I hate it.
It's,
I understand
it's
it.
total semantics.
I'm not arguing with
semantics.
you. I totally understand
Yeah.
that it's written there. That's how it is. You have to obey. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't agree with it, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, lucky PS4's region free. Import that back.
I'm just gonna import it.
Import it, get it on Steam. You know, there are many other ways you can get it. Because Mortal Kombat was as well, wasn't it? X was banned as well.
No, Mortal Kombat 7.
One of them was refused and they had to change a few things. But PS4.
Yeah, and then that was before the R18, and the R18 came when they resubmitted it, it was fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I can rip out someone's fucking spine and dry hump their corpse, but I can't take a pill that gives me +5 strength.
Yeah.
Video games. But yeah, and then you extend that over to movies and TV shows, and you're like, oh, come on, man. Top selling games for week ending 20th of May 2018, starting at number 10. Conan Exiles, number 9, Rainbow Six Siege, number 8, FIFA 18, number 7, The Evil Within 2, number 6, Dragon's Crown Pro, number 5, Crash Insane Trilogy, number 4, COD World War 2, number 3, Destiny 2, number 2, Far Cry 5, number 1, God of War.
You think? 5.1. Imagine that. 5.1 mil, however many millions of feet. And it wasn't the best selling game in Australia.
Next week's will be interesting. See if Detroit was able to take it down.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think Detroit is going to do well.
I don't think it will.
I don't think it'll take down number 1 though.
It'll be number 2.
Yeah.
Is my hypothesis.
I agree with your prediction. Speaking of Detroit, this is where you do your segue because I can remember how it's
I was about to do it, but then you said so.
Yeah, I did.
That's it for the news, Ryan, as we have a chat to the players about the latest PS4 exclusive, Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, so Detroit Become Human is the latest from Quantic Dream and the brain of David Cage. It takes place in the year of 2038, but in the early days of November, like the 6th to the 11th. I'd be 49 that year.
Yeah, I'd be...
You'd be 50, were you? 88?
I'd be 51.
You're 87.
At the start of 88. So it depends what month. In
2038. It's November of 2038. So it's literally on my birthday. Like, I'm 48 at the start of the game, and by the end, I'm 49. But yeah, so it takes place in the first week or so of November in 2038. It's this whole idea that androids are so ubiquitous that they are just in every household. Everyone has them. It's across the board. Everyone expects them. They've come in and replaced all the menial tasks that we don't want to do. And this story focuses...
Wiping your ass.
Yeah, and
who does that in 2038?
Who proves 2038? A robot do it for me.
Yeah, why pleasure yourself when you can have android pleasure you for it?
So the big key thing is the whole idea of what if these androids become sentient? What if they just gain free will and emotions and stuff? So they become what they refer to in the title as deviants. The story focuses on three main characters. You've got Marcus, who's the, as I said in my review, it's up on the channel as well. He's the robot revolutionary. He's the one that's big push to make this all happen. And you've got Kara, who was a house robot, one that would do all your dishes and look after your kid and shit. And as she escapes from her house, she begins to progress further. Like, her adventure is about her and her carer. Like the child looks after Alice, about her getting her to safety. Then you've got Connor, who
Safety
is
from what? Or is that a spoiler?
no, that's not spoilers. It's just more as in, as this revolution takes place, shit goes down.
Okay.
Like, when a giant race of people fight another race of people, there's civil war.
Yeah.
You gotta they're trying to bounce from that civil war, as I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And then you've got Connor, who is the sort of robot. He's a robot issued by CyberLife, the company that created these robots, to help investigate these deviants and find out what is going on. And then you follow.
So he's working for the people.
Yes. So you follow these three people, these three androids, I should say, and how their stories interweave, and then.
I think that you just called them people instead of androids says a lot about how they've humanised them, right?
Yeah, it says a lot about how they've played in the game, yeah.
So, yeah, you've already done your review and you've, given your thoughts there, but I thought you'd like to also just have a bit more of a free-flowing chat.
Yeah, a big free-flow chat about would be great. So, the couple of things that I mentioned in the review as well is the game itself is very much a movie that you can interact with. It's one of those interesting stories, things like Life is Strange, all that sort of stuff, but this is on a grander scale. This is what those walking sims, quote unquote, and other those very interactive stories. It's like if they had a legit budget and a legit incredible storytelling, that's what we get here. Mm-hmm. In terms of how you play, you're not the like God of War, as I mentioned, you're not the one swinging the axe. In this one, you're the one that's pressing, you're directing a story rather than creating the story. If that makes sense.
Probably two main questions.
Yes.
Number one, when you get to the end, this is spoiler free, but just when you get to the end of the game, do your decisions actually matter? Okay,
first of all,
let me elaborate, because a lot of this stuff, especially like with Telltale and Mass Effect's, how Mass Effect 3 wound up, is that, it's about the journey, not the destination. You get to the end and it's kind of ubiquitous and everyone's ending's kind of the same. Your decisions didn't really impact too much by the end of it. What about this?
First of all, we should elaborate. The way David Cage likes to tell a story is he is a big fan of that open ending, as in branching storylines, branching everything. You decide where it goes, and depending on your choices, how it will change how a scene will end, what actions are taken during that scene, and how the game ends. Does the game end completely different? Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
I haven't looked up how many endings there are. There's 8 endings, there's 16 as well. Do you know if there are multiple paths that lead to that ending, and then there's all these other paths?
Look, I imagine there are a finite number of endings, but there are events that can drastically change how, although you and I may have ended up at this ending here, but actions that we have taken here will still affect that ending. So we may get a similar circumstance, but there could be very key things missing in there that we need to.
So you can get the good ending, quote unquote, but the good ending can be different for multiple people.
Correct.
Okay.
An example is the ending that I got is incredibly different to the ending Dylan got.
Yeah, and I saw you talking to Joel earlier, and he said his wife's ending was so different to his ending, and his wife's ending just...
And his ending was different to my ending, and her ending to my ending. So, we all had very different outcomes. And then Jacinta, Dylan's partner, she got a different ending again.
Wait, how long is this game for all these people to have finished it?
It's 12 hours.
Okay.
It's 12, 15
I pictured it being much longer.
Yeah.
That's not a question I was going to ask, but...
About 12, 15 hours. So you have to go back. So it's all of these things. So how you pick and choose throughout does drastically affect it. Because an example with Connor, his act, depending on how you take him, how he reacts to everything at the end is different depending on how you play him.
Stone cold.
Yeah, so if you're a stone cold dick the whole time, you are a robot until the end, but if you're super open and free to sort of push that boundary between robot and...
watch him learn emotions.
Yeah, you can watch him, head down that deviant-y path. Not really spoilers because it's kind of implied.
And let's say you're doing a mission and you fail it. Do you continue on,
Yes.
and that failure has
Yes.
impacted the story, or do you have to no, you have to play this mission again because you fucked it?
There is no game over. There is no play it again.
Yep.
Your decisions will continue.
How many missions did you play through where you're like, that's not how I wanted that to end?
A couple.
Fair few?
Yep.
Yeah, and did you feel bad?
Yep.
Yeah?
So a small example. So Connor, there are a number of ways Connor can die. And the way Cyberlife does it is they'll reboot him, they'll bring in a new Connor that forgets everything you've done before.
Okay.
So the story still progresses.
Yeah.
But like I was trying to interrogate this guy, and I was like trying to push him a little bit. I pushed him a little too far, and then like I was in like a police station, and I pushed him a little too far, and he starts getting all weird, like oh fuck. So the police comes in, tries to like restrain him, breaks the restraints, pulls the gun out, just blows my face out, blows his own face out, and then I'm like, oh fuck! All because I pressed the wrong button. While I was interrogating him, I'm like, I was right in that like perfect mode to get the most out of the interrogation. I'm like, all right, fuck,
Yeah.
and then it all went AWOL.
So, having said that though, like if you die as Connor, they kind of reboot you and you forget everything. Does that mean, let's say you're 3 missions from the end and you've had the same Connor all along, and then you die, and then you get a new Connor? How does that kind of react to the rest of the game?
Like there are some
what I mean?
that you don't lose all the memories, you lose some of the memories. So an example, you've seen the demo that we played, right? There's the cop on the left hand side as you're walking out. If you save him, like I did, and this is not real spoilers, I found him later in the game. But because my Connor died, he didn't remember him.
Right. Okay.
But if my Connor hadn't died, because he looked up and going, holy shit, Connor, dude, do you remember me? Like, I did this, and my guy's like, beep, 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 beep. What?
Zeros and ones.
But if my Connor hadn't died, I imagine he'd be like, hi,
I'm just wondering, you spend 11 hours with your Connor only to get right to the end and have him rebooted. Then it's like, well, this whole game, my playthrough as Connor now just means shit.
Nah.
Because he doesn't remember it.
Not that. Well, yeah,
Is it not quite that extreme?
Not quite that extreme, because as you get closer to the end, you have less of those sort of missions. It's very early on those sort of things take place.
Right.
There are some throughout, but it's not like 3 minutes from the ending. It's like brand new Connor.
Yeah, because I just hate to spend all this time, working on the Connor I want and then to lose it because of Butterfingers.
Yeah,
or,
but the thing.
But the game is designed for that to
You
happen,
lose it because of your decision.
Yeah.
Like it's not the game being unfair to you. Like if you like I said, my Connor died because I fucked up, not because the game fucked me up. I fucked up.
Yeah.
And the game literally continues. Like there are decisions that I was really as I did them, I was like, oh fuck. Like, there's a lot of grey area in this game. So even things that you would go one way, go another way. So there are decisions that I've made, I'm like, okay, this has got to be the right... Fuck! Nothing. And then do what I wanted.
I noticed when we played the demos last year, loading times were all...
The initial loading time is...
Like God of War?
Yeah, but like God of War, you'll see cuts, but you'll never see another loading bar.
Okay, I'm happy with that. Like, the initial loading is fine, take as long as you want to load in, but then don't give me a 30-second loading screen every time I move to another room or do something.
Like, there are minor loading screens in terms of, because at the end of the chapter, you'll see the flow chart, and then you'll click next, and you get the little symbol in the corner, and it's like 10 seconds at best.
On a Pro.
On a Pro.
Yeah.
So, like, I imagine 15 seconds. But, like, I'm exaggerating. Like, it's, like, nothing. Like, not enough time to put your controller down.
Not enough for you to go...
Yeah, it's enough to go, okay, cool, oh, there it is.
Yeah, because I did the same thing like when playing Dragon's Crown. Like, the loading screens are pretty good, but they're almost to the point where it's like, I'm just going to put my... Oh, no, it's ready. Like, it's on the precipice of being a little bit too long. And I figured a game like Detroit would be... moving scene to scene, however it works, would be like, okay, here's another
like the PS3.
Here's like another minute and a half of like loading this scene.
Like Heavy Rain did that.
Yeah.
And that was because it's the power of what they're doing on the PS3. So what's really impressive about this game is because it's not loading a huge fucking world that you can just wander around in, it's very focused. So it uses...
Like your room that you're going to be in for that mission.
It uses the resources smarter. So if you're playing God of War as an example, it doesn't have to load just the room you're in, it's loading everything else around it. And it has to be ready for you to turn around and go back the way you came. Where this, it's like it's not shoveling you, it's not pushing you in a certain direction, but it's giving you a very finite space to work in. And for that reason is why it looks so fantastic. Like, they've literally punched all the power that they could into how these characters look and react and emote, and they look like people.
Well, yeah, because that's what I noticed when we were playing the demo, is that every year it's like you look at a game and go, wow, that looks so real. Wow, and it was Detroit. I was like, I literally can't tell if this is like an acted scene or what is going on right now, because just the minor, like, shifts in eyebrows when some, like, just the little expressions that we all kind of take for granted. When you go back and play an old game, that's what you notice, is that, you know, especially God of War, when Kratos is screaming, it's just rah, 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 like the mouth is just open, and then there's no, like, you know, little lines on the side of the eyes or the eyebrows emoting along with you. And when you look back at it, you go, well, no wonder, his mouth's just like one of those dolls that you just get. Whereas, you know, looking at Detroit, it's like, I can, and this newest God of War, you look at their face and go, I don't need words. I can tell what they're feeling and why they're feeling it, and just following it. So it's good to hear that it still looks like that. You do have it on Pro and 4K and all that shizniz, which I don't, but you'd
not be missing out.
When I boot it up, you know, I'll obviously notice if there's a difference or not, but I don't think there will be.
No, you see, if anything, you'll get a better quality picture because it will super sample it down. Like, once again,
stop trying to make me feel good for not having the latest tech.
Yeah,
it'll look better.
But it will, because it will be sharp. Like, it'll be incredibly sharp. Where I was like, I forgot where I was going. What were we talking about before that?
Come on, we're flowing really well.
Yeah, I know, it was
facial
really good.
expression.
Facial expressions, that's right, cool. So one of the things in, like, the previous David Cage games, and a lot of games in the past were, and this is the one thing that always throws me out, right, is eyes. And how the eyes work. In here, eyes are schmick. Schmick, as in, like, you see the finer details, they got that little glare, and they dart accordingly, and there's never a blank, like, there are blank stares with the robots, like, Kara as an example, because Kara is the character that's used to show the evolution of human emotion. So when you first see her, she is very stilted, her eyes are very stiff and very, like, robot. But as you progress in the game and she becomes more linked to human emotion, her eyes change. And how she moves and how she it's a little detail. It's fantastic.
As a human, your eyes are never ever still. Even looking at each other, there are all these little minor adjustments that are going on. And the trap, well, not the trap, but the way video games were, is that, you know, there are the eyes, that's where they're looking, and they fucking stay there until you look at something else, whereas that's not how it is. That's why I think the eyes need to be self-expressive.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they've nailed it. How many more playthroughs are you going to give it? It sounds like you want to give it quite a few playthroughs.
I'm really...
And like to be Dick Connor, be Angel Connor, be in the middle Connor.
See, I'm really content with my playthrough, though, because, like, once again, because I made every decision that went through, I feel this is my story. And that's what I love about it. Like,
now let it be Bad Ryan's story.
Yeah, but I will play it again because I want to try to get that plat. The plat looks pretty easy. Like, obviously it's telling you to make certain decisions, but I'm like, well, I've made all my decisions. Yeah. You know. An example is like,
don't chase the plat on your first playthrough.
No. You take away.
Obviously, the plat steers you in a certain direction.
Yeah, you will get a lot of the trophies on your run through, because a lot of them are chapter decision based. Some of them are just yeah.
So you finish a game, and you're like, oh, check out the trophy. They're 70% complete. All story trophy.
Yeah, which is pretty much what you get. And then the only difference, like I said, I got 58% trophies or whatever it is, 60 on my first run. And that was because I just happened to follow the particular... I just happened to play the game. There are some that's like read all magazines. Because like scattered throughout the world are these digital magazines that you pick up. And in terms of filling out the background lore, holy fuck. Like, you get so much of the story just by playing as the characters. And then you read these magazines, like you find that there's this weird war over the over the Arctic. You find out that the unemployment rate in America is 37%. You know, like...
Androids have done an old job.
Exactly, and that's where a lot of the education comes from. And it's all these little things that then it's just, they talk about like the morality of like the majority of the armed forces has androids. They're now looking at bringing in androids into NFL. You know, and it's all these, like, all the articles just sort of hit on different sections of different morality. And speaking of morality, holy fuck, man. There were times, because I played it in this room, there were times that I was sitting here and I just went...
Well, like, that wasn't the outcome I expected.
No.
I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do. So it's very clear, like the ones that got really stuck on were decisions, like there was no timing on them, so it wasn't like impulse decision. I'm like...
That's good, because I know there are impulse decisions in it. Like, you got 4 seconds to do that if you want to do that, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But the big decisions that let you think, I think that makes it hit home a little bit more, because you're not rushing and you really start going through what the outcomes might be, and the ones that make you kind of put the control down and go. Oh.
And the worst thing is, the best and the worst thing is at the end of that chapter when you see the flow chart and you see your train decisions and you see how yours ended, and then you see the one that you could have taken brings the branches back or more up here, like. Like this game is massive fear of missing out. Like,
does it do the telltale thing at the end of every chapter, like you and 40% of players?
It does, yeah. So along the steps, it'll show you, like, it will. Granted, because I was playing pre-release, I don't think those numbers are accurate. They were accurate, but they were very
small samples.
So it does. It can tell you that 60% of the people did this, or like in the opening scene, which is the demo. One of the first things you find is the fish on the ground, and it's like 47% of people picked up the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. It's cool seeing how much freedom of choice you have and how different branches could, because it's like in life is a series of choices. So the choice between doing this and doing that and the branches that opens is rad. There are some decisions that are really uneventful in our lives that will mean nothing overall, and this game has those decisions that mean nothing.
Like I chose to have a peanut butter sandwich.
Exactly.
What does that mean? I don't know.
Means nothing. But it could also mean something.
I could just find out I'm allergic to peanut butter now. I'm dead.
But the game is great. Like, I'm really content with the ending as well. I was happy with where it went.
I do have one more question. It's not a hard-hitting question, but did it feel, like, pacing-wise, did it feel slow at any point? Like, okay, I want this chapter finished now. Or I've kind of had enough of this scenario now, I want to move on. But I can't really do other things. Because there's nothing where, like, the question is pacing. Is it good?
Pacing was fine for me. Because, like, I was really, once again, I'm a very big story dude. And what I love most in stories is dialogue. This is why I like Kevin Smith, this is why I like Tarantino, right? Because these guys just talk. There's not always a lot of action, but it's a lot of talking.
Yeah.
So
and all the talking is important.
Yeah.
Like, you can pick up on it. And that's the same thing with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in, like, Shaun of the Dead and all that. Like, there's a lot more to the dialogue than what's at face level. Like, the dialogue
can seem dismissive, but it does certainly mean something. So, like, an example is when you're having a conversation with Connor and Hank, who's the sort of lieutenant that he's working alongside, you can go down a path that seems kind of redundant, but you learn more about Hank. You learn, like, it's like very, like, poo conversations, but it's just like it takes you in a good place. Yeah. But taking away from that, when I say it's nothing but dialogue, there are action scenes, and I did, rather than just sort of, there are quick time events, but not in the same way of here's a very scripted sequence. Like, as an example, there's a chase with Connor where you're chasing and you pick the path that you go. Like, it's a very split-second decision, of course.
Have you seen the Heavy Rain video where there's a chase scene in, like, a restaurant or something, in a grocery store, and if you miss all the quick time events, it is the most ridiculous funny thing. You'll, like, slip on a lettuce and then, like, bottle over some little kid in her cart and then, like, try to, like, hop the thing, but you miss quick time, so face plants, and it's just 3 minutes if you just let the controller go.
Like,
just flopping,
Benny Hill shit.
Benny Hill shit, just flopping about, falling on carrots. That was fucking ridiculous.
Oh, sorry, not Benny Hill. Three Stooges. A bit more of a bit physical comedy.
Yeah, physical comedy. Yeah, just ridiculous.
Look, there is a bit of that. As in, there was a fight that I was in with Connor. The other guy had a gun. Because I missed some of the steps, I got shot. Therefore, I had a wound for the rest of the game.
Yeah. No, I've never been against quick time events. I don't mind them. Like, and the big hoo-ha about them I never quite got on board with. I'm like, they can be really dumb. But just because, like, a lot of people hear quick time events go, nah. Like, not touching
Yeah,
it.
that's
Like, the order was wrong. The
it's
order
the same.
1986 went the wrong
They have
way.
the same like acidic taste in the mouth
That's linear.
as like microtransactions. That's same
Yeah, like-
vitriol.
yeah.
But like I think there's enough time now that everyone understands what they are and how they work, and like they're handled here because they're not quick time events. It's not like, as I said, it's not. You do feel that you have control in that way, and some of them are like the speed you have to do some of them. It makes you feel like you're in the action, and like it's just well timed.
There are
A good heart race, actually.
There are good
yeah.
ways to do quick time events, and I've never not been a fan of them. I'm like, okay, like back in the old God of War days, I'm like, push triangle and circle, and that's making you involved while Kratos is doing some fucking wicked shit, and you're watching it going, oh, I did that. It's like awesome.
But other than just pressing triangle or pressing X or whatever, there's actually they kind of take advantage of what the DualShock can do in terms of its 6-axis and its touchpad and its accelerometers and whatnot. So it's like anytime you're like if you're playing in a fight and they want you to dodge left, you have to shift the control left. So like granted, it's kind of gimmicky in that way, but I think it's handled really well. Like a lot of the actions are done using the right thumbstick. So if you're turning a door handle like consistently across the game, any door handle is lift and turn, and like your thumb does the same thing. So it does feel. And anytime you're gripping something or you're grabbing something, you're using the triggers. So like it's almost like you are controlling their limbs in a certain way. But yeah, I think it really benefited this game in terms of the storytelling, and I do think this is David Cage's best work. With Fahrenheit, with Beyond Two Souls, with Heavy Rain, Fahrenheit was fine for what it was on PS2. Beyond Two Souls, everyone hated after everyone loved Heavy Rain, and I think this is really the evolution of that. I think this is fantastic.
Don't forget Quantum Break.
Quantum Break is a whole different game, though.
But it's by the same team, isn't it?
No,
I thought it was.
no, it's by Remedy.
Oh, alright, I got my lines.
Yeah, very similar.
I got no more questions, but for those that haven't watched your singular video review of Final Force.
Yeah, that's it. The game is rad. Like, I loved it so much. As I called the video, it's the best movie I've ever played. I found myself getting really enthralled in these characters. I actually cared about them.
Cry counter?
None actually.
What?
I didn't have any super. I got emotional. There were some decisions I was like, oh, like gut wrenching, and but no like dead set tears like God of War. Like God of War broke me in some ways. Yeah, so I love those characters. I really grew with them. Their performances across the board were fantastic. Jesse Williams, who plays Marcus, knows from Grey's Anatomy, fucking killed it. He has that robot with his chiseled good looks. He has that robot-esque look to him. He's very
He looks too good to be
He's very
human.
stilted, yeah. So like bringing that was really cool. Valerie Curry, I believe her name was, who plays Kara. She was really good as well. Once again, showing her growth from being very stilted to becoming very human and very emotive was really cool. Connor was the same. Brian Deckett, who portrayed him, had that same sort of very stiffness, but one of those things we mentioned at EB Expo was that when he fall off the edge and he closed his eyes because he's content that his mission's accepted, like very subtle, like little nuancey things that he's been doing, like idiosyncrasies, really bring that home, and that comes from his performance. Clancy Brown, who plays Hank, was a lovely addition because he is a known actor. I know him in very slight roles. I know him mostly as the voice of Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob.
Oh shit!
Yeah!
I'm in!
He doesn't do the Krabs voice, he does his own voice, but it's kind of...
You hear it though?
Yeah, you hear a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit there. And there's another actor whose name I can't pronounce, but he's apparently done a lot of movies, and he's really cool. He's the... So Marcus starts off as a carer for this character, Carl. And Carl is this, like... sort of old school artist. Like he would be an artist of this era now. So he's like tat sleeves, all this kind of shit. But now he's an old
Man
dude.
bun and all that shit.
Yeah, but now he's an old dude. So he doesn't have the I imagine now he would have the man bun and stuff. But he's like an old dude. He's all tatted. Yeah. But he's very liberally minded. So where the world is quite cynical and about the androids, he's like, no, Marcus, he's like, you're my helper in this, but you're also like my friend, and for that reason I give you freedoms, and I'm not like, you're a robot, I beat you. Like the amount of people that like enjoy having robots in their lives to do shit for them, the amount they're mistreated just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, you clean my house, fuck you! But it's one of those things is when absolute power like corrupts. And, so when you have absolute power over this,
they don't really have feelings, so I'll just give them a
beat
smack.
them. Yeah, but it's lovely to see them grow. Like, granted, there are some parts of the story are very on the nose. Like, as in the subtext of the story being the whole idea of a very a big commentary on race relations and the way our world's run now. Some of them are really kind of subtle. Some not in the slightest. Like, all the androids ride the back of the bus. That's happened before. And they use Marcus as sort of like a Christ-like figure, because when he converts robots, he has to touch them. So there's like, he's like, you're free my child, that sort of shit. Yeah. So like later on, you're literally sitting in a church and he's at the altar, sort of thing. Like, well, that's not so on the nose. That's a little bit obvious there, but like, and there's all the androids, they're being scooped up and taken to camps to be destroyed. Not so very analogous, very similar to the Holocaust. Like, as in, some things are very on the nose, but some storytelling is just rad. Like, overall, like you can sort of look over those small gripes, because as a full piece, it's fantastic.
Sequel?
No, I don't think so. I think it's a self-contained story, in the same way that Beyond Two Souls and Heavy Rain, they're all very
Detroit
similar.
became human.
Yeah, just Detroit now human. Yeah,
we were human all along.
Yeah, human after all. It's a same Daft Punk album.
No, that's good.
I think it's fantastic.
We need more single-release, self-contained stories. That are franchise.
I think it will be that.
Set up for all this stuff. That's good. Good to hear.
And a side note as well. You know how they had the big controversy with the Paris Games Week trailer of the domestic abuse? In context, it's fine.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah,
Context is everything.
fine.
You can't... If you were going to do that with video games, like 80% of games, you could take one scene and go, this bad. But playing the game, you're like, well, it's not really. Like, well, it makes sense in,
Yeah, in the context of the overall story, like, Todd, who's that piece of shit dad, there are moments where you're like, you're a piece of shit. And I got so much satisfaction about wanging him in the face with a lamp. Like, whang! And I was like, yeah! But at the same time, like in the conversation just before I wanged him in the face, I was like, I kind of get it. Like, you're someone that's, you're part of that 37%. Like, you got booted from your job. Like, you're real. Like, you are someone that is doing it hard. And you're a piece of shit because you're doing it hard.
Yeah. That's good.
You're still a piece of shit, though. I enjoy hitting you in the face with a lamp. But I get it. Like, there's empathy there.
I get it. But take this lamp again.
Yeah, but I know you're down. Flying! Yeah, R2. But anyways, let us know what you think of Detroit Become Human if you've played it. If you're going to be picking it up, and if you're not, be sure to let us know why. But if you're on the fence, you can always join in next week when we do For the Players as part of our 12-hour, 1,000 subscriber stream. You may even win yourself a copy, so you don't have to spend any money. How good is that going to be?
And while that FTP will be live for the duration of the show, we won't be interacting with the chat. We're going to get the show done, and then...
Well, as we do all our predictions and everything along those lines, at the end we will come to you guys for all your predictions, and that's when we'll open up to the chat.
We've done a live FTP before. We found having a live chat, but we had to keep checking it to really kind of... it didn't flow very well. So yeah, we're going to do the show. Probably won't be that much of a long show because I want to dick about with the chat about predictions mostly.
Yeah.
So I think we'll get in.
Get the formalities out of the way.
Maybe skip the news and just do our predictions. It depends what happens.
Depends what happens. If there's a couple of minor things in the week,
yeah. Just wanted to get that out there too.
Yeah, so we will be chatting to the chat, of course, but just be aware that it will be towards the end. So as we're bullshitting, you can sort of jump off our predictions, or you guys can chat amongst yourself. We'll be there. But as I said, that is a little while away. Let's talk about what games are also coming out in that little while away in the next week. Fuck, I wish if the stream was further away, that would have worked much better.
The drop new PlayStation games for the week of the 29th of May 2018. Agony, PS4, digital and retail.
This is that gnarly horror game that's been doing the social media rounds for a bajillion years.
Agony is a first-person survival horror set in the depths of hell. You will begin your journey as a tormented soul, remembering nothing from your past life. By exploring the hostile environment and interacting with other tormented souls, you will soon understand the only way to escape from hell is through the mystical red goddess.
Now,
You hear first-person survival horror and you go, ugh.
But apparently, I might pick this up on PC though, because there is the quote-unquote uncensored patch. So in order for it to make release, they have to fit a certain criteria. But then they're like, here's an optional patch.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah, because just from the trailer and stuff, this game looks messed up, but in a cool way, like really cool imagery and stuff. And yeah, I mean, really interesting. All right, I'm going to speed through most of the rest
Because the rest is pretty much garbage.
Along Together, PSVR digital. Birdcakes, PS4, digital. Black Hat Cooperative, PSVR, digital. Die for Valhalla, PS4, digital. Earth Atlantis, PS4, digital. Gekaido Kintaro's Revenge, PS4, digital. Harvest Moon Light of Hope Special Edition, PS4, digital retail.
Stop. I love Harvest Moon.
Cool, I'll read it then. Looking for a fresh start and some new surroundings, you can set off on a voyage to begin your new life.
This game's great. This game is trash.
Oh.
It's trash.
You're a Harvest Moon fan?
But like I've looked at it on the PC and like
Harvest Moon by name only?
Yes, I love I've mentioned this before, but there was a point in time where Harvest Moon separated, as in like the creators of Harvest Moon separated to do something else, but because they didn't own the name of Harvest Moon in the States, they had to then move over to become Story of Seasons. So any game that from a particular point that's called Harvest Moon is not Harvest Moon. So.
Okay.
And this feels like a mobile game, just blown up to a bigger scale. It's poo.
Illusion, A Tale of the Mind, PS4 digital. The Journey Down, Chapter 1, PS4 digital.
There was a Slipknot in there for some reason?
Kabounce, PS4 digital. Knights of Pen and Paper Plus One Deluxia Edition. Metal Slug XX, PS4 digital. Milan Noir.
Mjolnir.
Nyanya. PS4 digital. Moonlighter, PS4 digital. No Heroes Here, PS4 digital. Oh Sir, The Hollywood Roast, PS4 digital. Old Man's Journey, PS4 digital. Owlboy, PS4 retail.
Oh, surprise.
The Perfect Sniper, PSVR digital. Personality and Psychology Premium, PS4 digital. Sega Genesis Classics, PS4 digital. If you like Sega, this might be a thing, because I see Sonic and Street Fighter and stuff in there. Shift Quantum, PS4 digital. Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, PS4 digital retail. To the Top, PSVR digital. Wraith, PSVR digital. Yoku's Island Express, PS4 digital. Big indie week this week.
Yeah, big indie week, a lot of digital. A couple of things to stand up, but it is pretty chill.
Agony is, if you want a game from the week, Agony. Get it.
Checking it out. I'm very keen.
Can I go to the ending?
Yes, you can.
That PlayStation conversation happened on a Monday morning at 9 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and 8 a.m. on iTunes and the other podcast services. If you'd like to be part of that conversation, please join us on Facebook, join us on Discord, comment below. If you're feeling generous, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/thepopculturists. Head over there, check out the tiers. There might be something there that interests you.
And if you want to show your love for PopCulturists on your body, head to thepopculturists.com/shop where you can buy shirts, not hats, a bunch of other random garbage with our logos on it. And of course, we are Twitch affiliated, head to twitch.tv/PopCulturists, become a follower over there, and be sure to check out when we're switching when we're streaming, not here on YouTube. Speaking of YouTube though, we are celebrating our 1,000 subscriber mark on June the 2nd with a 12-hour live stream from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. We're playing a bunch of games, giving away a bunch of games. We're also raising money for a local Geelong organisation called Gen U, which uses the power of video games to assist with the people with mental health issues as well as disabilities. So it's 100% a good cause, and it's bigger and better than us, so you should help give them money. But until then, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
And that was for the players.